Hey, it's Caressa.
Hey, it's Maddie.
You're not watching the Disney Channel right now.
You're listening to
Dreadfully Twisted! Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
We are back this.
We are a little bit, yeah, a lot of it.
It's been a week.
Yes,
It's been such a week.
this week was weeking.
It was. Like, all day today, I was like, is it time to go home yet? Like, at work, because I was just like, I can't. I can't. So, any spooky updates?
No.
No.
What about you?
I had an orb on my camera.
Did you?
Yeah. And my cat also was on my camera. Hold on, it was the other day. There was something else I was gonna... Oh, yeah, there's something else I want to talk to you about. But... an orb. Like, over here.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
You always get orbs.
Yeah, this one was at 5 in the morning. So 5:18 in the morning. I don't know.
Yeah.
They just are all over the place sometimes. But what happened to my voice? Sorry. I'm struggling. And I also just want to... I think my microphone. Okay, my microphone's fine. Okay. Sometimes I talk way too close to the microphone. And, like, I've noticed this whenever I'm editing. Like, I'll be talking so close to it that's, like, I don't know, reverbing or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's, like, very, like, like, I don't know. I just want to apologize. Sometimes I get really into it and I have to, like, be close because I don't know how to judge.
I know, same. Like, I don't want to be too far, but I also don't want to get too close.
Yeah, and then if I have to be too far, I feel like I talk too loud and I feel like it goes in your microphone and then it echoes and I'm just like, I can't have, like... Can't have either way, I guess. So I just want to apologize that sometimes the quality is not that great because I talk too close.
We'll get it together, don't worry.
But if you still listen, we're very thankful for that. Oh, but the thing I wanted to talk to you about is did you hear about that girl that got stuck in that oven in Walmart?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my god, like...
Someone on TikTok, I seen another video, they were, like, proving of how their ovens at Walmart, like, you can't...
I literally think I just saw that video today.
Did you?
Yeah, hold on. I was about to send it to you, I think. Maybe I did. I don't know. I sent you a bunch of TikToks earlier.
Like, someone definitely probably...
That's what I think. Hold on, did I save it? I think I saved it. Yeah, it was this one. Or no, not that one. This one. Did you see this video?
No, mine was a different one. It was a guy. He did say that.
Yeah.
And they showed that you can't get out from the inside.
Yeah, so, like, one, that's absolutely terrifying. Why would you want to have an oven where it doesn't, like, you have to walk in it to clean it?
I know.
And then it doesn't even have, like, an emergency release. And the fact that they have to clean it while it's on is, like, freaky.
Why? That's, like, terrifying.
But I saw that. And then I also saw that the Menendez brothers are getting parole, like, they're eligible for parole immediately now.
Are they?
Yeah, I sent you another TikTok about that. I think I sent it to you at least. I just realized that you sent me something. We literally sent the same video.
Oh my god. We literally do that a lot. That's so funny. We always send the same Hobby Lobby ones too.
Yeah.
The signs.
All the arguments that were made for people on both sides of this equation, I came to a place where I believe that under the law, resentencing is appropriate. What that means in this particular case is that we're going to recommend to the court that the life without the possibility of parole be removed and that they will be sentenced for murder, which, because there are two murders involved, that will be 50 years to life. However, because of their age, under the law, since they were under 26 years of age, time that these crimes occurred, they will be eligible for parole immediately.
Like, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
But I mean, it kind of makes sense though, because like Gypsy Rose got released.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know it's like a different situation, but I don't know. So I'm thinking maybe we should cover them soon.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be on the news and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And people are probably going to want to know what happened. Because I don't even know what happened, to be honest. I like know that they killed their parents, but I don't know much about the case at all.
Did you watch? Well,
I didn't watch anything about it.
But,
no.
You should watch Monsters. It's called. It's like a series.
Yeah.
They had Dahmer first.
Yeah.
Season 1.
And they're going to have Ed Gein.
Yeah. That one's going to be insane.
Yeah.
He's terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, the series, you should watch that.
Okay.
But like, then I read an article of like everything they got wrong. So like, I'll send you that after you watch it. But,
yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. But it'll give you an idea of like what happened.
Yeah, because people at work were talking about it today, and that's whenever I heard about it. They were like, "Did you hear that the Menendez brothers are going to go back up for something?" And I was like, trying to listen. I was like, "What's going on over there?" Like, true crime? Let me talk to you about this.
Yeah.
But I like felt awkward because like I don't know the people in that office yet, like as well as my old my normal office. So like I'm like I can't just go up to them and be like, "What are you talking about?" Because like I don't have that relationship with them yet. So I'm like, I'll just stay back here.
Yeah.
They're always like, "You're so quiet." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know what to tell you." But so let's get into it. This one might not be as long as my cases normally are, and if it's not, I am so sorry. Don't hate me.
I won't hate. I would never hate you.
I'm talking to people listening because I know that some people like long cases, so please don't hate me. I'm trying my best right now.
Yeah.
Life is lifing.
It sure is.
We need to put that on a shirt too, because we say that a lot. But this case is going to make you very angry.
Okay.
Very angry. Because the case I'm covering today is Unsolved.
Oh, wonderful.
And it happened in the 50s.
Not wonderful.
Yeah. So. And it's also a really infamous case, so I don't know if you heard about it or anything, because it also includes a wealthy, prominent doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's just jump right into it. Samuel Holmes Sheppard was born December 29th, 1923. He was born in Cleveland, Ohio. His parents were Richard Allen Sheppard, D.O., which D.O. stands for Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine, and his mother was Ethel Edith Niles Sheppard. He was the youngest, and he had two brothers. He attended Cleveland Heights High School, where he was an excellent student and was active in American football, basketball, and track. He was class president for 3 years. He met his future wife, Marilyn Reese, while in high school. Sam met Marilyn Reese when his older brother Steve introduced them. Steve had dated Marilyn previously, which, like, I don't know if I would do that.
Yeah. No.
That's weird.
A little bit.
But okay. But Marilyn, I'm not blaming her. She seems like a very sweet person, and you'll see. She's not the bad person here. Yeah. But so I don't blame her, but like it's just like weird that his brother was just like, "Here, you can date her." Yeah. Even though I just dated her. I don't know. But maybe in the 1920s it was different then. I don't know. The 1920s of it all. Marilyn was born April 14th, 1923 in Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, Ohio, and was raised in Cleveland area and attended Cleveland Heights High School as well. Her parents were Thomas S. Reese and Dorothy P. Blake Reese. I hope I'm saying that right. I hope it's like not like Reese or something. I think it's Reese. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. Anybody? Go in the comments and be like, "You said it wrong," please. Email us.
Yeah. Something.
That's okay. Marilyn, who was a year older than Sam, was a lovely girl who had hazel eyes, long dark brownish hair, and was a slim build of 5'7" in height. Marilyn went off to Skidmore College in Saratoga, New York, while Sam finished his senior year of high school. Sam was known for his boyish good looks and dimpled chin, was about 6 foot, and he was athletic. Right out of high school, Sam thought about becoming a professional athlete. He was even authored athletic scholarships to several small colleges that ultimately wanted him to become a coach at their schools, and several small Ohio colleges offered him athletic scholarships as well. He chose to follow the lead of his father and his older brothers and pursued a career in osteopathic medicine instead. During this time, World War II had broken out and Sam wanted to enlist in the army, but his overpowering father persuaded him that he would be more valuable to his country as a doctor than as a soldier. Weird take, but okay.
Literally.
It's like, yeah, right. I mean, they're both important, but like, I don't know, it's just a weird take to me. I don't know. But I don't know, it was different in the 1920s, so maybe it was just scarier because it was World War II with everything going on. But I'm glad you thought the same thing. I was like, weird take.
Like, okay.
So he then enrolled at Hanover College in Indiana to that's not what that said. I was going to say to pursue. I guess it's the same thing, but to study pre-osteopathic medical courses. He completed his prep courses in 2 years by taking supplementary courses at Western Reserve University in Cleveland in the summer of 1943. Well, I guess the World War II wasn't in the 1920s, it was in the 1940s. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm struggling today. I'm so sorry. I struggle every time, though.
The 1940s of it all.
Yeah, the 1900s of it all. While at Hanover College, Sam gave Marilyn... Okay, this part is kind of, like, cute, but, like, also... Sam gave Marilyn his fraternity pin to indicate that they were engaged to be married. During this time, Sam was faithful to Marilyn, and she was to him. Sam studied and graduated at the Los Angeles Osteopathic School of Physicians and Surgeons, where he received above-average grades and was awarded the Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine medical degree. Also, what's up with me and doctors and surgeons? My last case I covered was a surgeon.
Yeah. I don't know. We're on a theme here.
And I always like cover nurses, too.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says about me. Let me know. Sam and Marilyn maintained their long-distance relationship even though they could only see each other on holidays and vacations. In September 1945, Sam asked Marilyn to come to California. Come to California, where they were quickly married at the First Hollywood Methodist Church. No one from either family was there to attend. So they kind of like eloped.
Yeah.
In a way. They rented an apartment and Marilyn found a secretarial job. They decided to have a baby right away. However, there's a couple trigger warnings throughout this. Trigger warning right now is miscarriage. Later, there is a trigger warning for suicide, but it's very, very quick. So just letting you know now, miscarriage, you skip like 15 seconds. However, Marilyn's first pregnancy ended in a miscarriage. In early 1947, their son Samuel Reese Sheppard was born. He was quickly nicknamed Chip, which is so cute. Aww. Reminds me of Chip from Beauty and the Beast.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
That's exactly
too.
what it was reminding me of the whole time I was like researching this, and I was just like, oh, that's so cute. I was like, I don't even know if Beauty and the Beast even came out then. Probably not. No, because I think Snow White came out in the 1930s, and then Cinderella was the 1950s, and I think Beauty and the Beast was like the 1980s or something.
Baby Chip.
But that's what it reminded me of, and I was like, I love this. So cute. So, after Sam graduated from medical school, completed his internship, and received his Doctor of Osteopathy degree, he became a resident in neurosurgery under Dr. Randall Chapman at the Los Angeles County Hospital. In response to family pressure, Sam and Marilyn returned to Ohio in the summer of 1951 so that Sam could join his father's growing hospital and family practices. So in 1951, they did move to Ohio and joined his father's growing medical practice at Bayview Hospital. The hospital was founded by the Sheppard family, that's why he's prominent and wealthy, because they're known for this hospital. Where at the Bayview Hospital, Sam Sheppard was an attractive and well-liked doctor who tended to hundreds of patients throughout his career. So he was a very popular doctor, and like everybody always wanted him to like do things, like do like their
Yeah.
surgeries or whatever. Which is so like crazy. Because
Mhm.
like what happens? You're like, ooh, should I have trusted you?
Yeah.
They rented in an apartment until Sam's father loaned them the money to buy their first home, which was a white frame, 4-bedroom, 2-story Dutch colonial house located in Bay Village, a fashionable suburb of Cleveland. The house was 60 years old but had been modernized. Which like it's crazy to think because like my house now is like 110 years
Yeah.
old, so I'm like 60 years old. That's not that old at
Yeah.
all for a house. The house was surrounded by large trees. It sat on a high cliff nearly 100 feet above Lake Erie shore. So it was like on Lake Erie,
Mhm.
which is like also crazy to think like what happens. Like everybody goes to Lake Erie for like vacations and stuff,
Mhm.
which is crazy. The hospital was less than a 5-minute drive to the Bayview Hospital. The house, not the hospital. The house was less than a 5-minute drive to the Bayview Hospital. While her husband practiced medicine, like most married women during this time, Marilyn was a homemaker. She did all of her own shopping and most housework with the assistance of a maid 1 day a week. She was an excellent cook and made nearly all the family meals. Sam and Marilyn were members of the local Methodist church where Marilyn also taught Bible classes. Marilyn was even baptized in the living room of the Sheppard's home. Marilyn also shared her husband's enthusiasm for sports. She bowled and played golf with friends. One of the family's main sources of recreation was water skiing on Lake Erie. It was said that the Sheppard family would work hard in the winter so they could spend time on water over weekends in the summer. They co-owned a 14-foot aluminum boat with a 25-horsepower motor with their neighbors Jay Spencer and Esther Hoke. They also taught many of their friends and neighbors how to water ski. Which I think that would be fun, but I think that would be also terrifying.
Yeah.
I've never water skied.
That reminds me of Friday, or not Friday the 13th. Yeah, Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Friday the 13th. Yeah. Oh yeah, because it's at a camp and
Yeah.
it's by a lake.
There was a jet ski scene.
Oh, I've never seen those movies.
Really?
Yeah. It's crazy. I've never seen those movies, and then I've never seen the movie with that cute little trick-or-treat guy. With like the bag over his head. I love him so much, but I'm like, I've never seen the movie. So like I need to see that movie soon because I love that character so much. I'm just like, because I think he's cute.
He is cute.
I think his name is Sam too.
Yeah, it is.
Sam enjoyed playing sports with the neighborhood kids as well. He installed a basketball hoop and backboard on the back of their garage, which he used to play basketball with neighborhood teens. The Sheppards also set up a club room for the neighborhood boys above their garage, where they put barbells and a ping pong table. Sam was even known to introduce the neighbors to boys to sports heroes such as a friend, Otto Graham, the star quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. So, like, he also knew, like, famous people, too. It's going to be happy for, like, another 30 seconds, and then it's going to start going downhill.
Oh, no.
The Sheppards rarely spent money on outside entertainment. They preferred having informal parties such as beak picnics, beach picnics, and potluck suppers with friends and neighbors, which I feel like would be really fun.
Yeah.
If I wasn't so busy, I would do that. But I also don't really have friends.
We'll go by ourselves.
Yeah, I'll just throw it for us. Samuel and Marilyn's marriage was happy at first. However, as time went on, there were issues that started to arise a few years after their first child was born. According to Sam, Marilyn became less interested in intimacy after the birth of their first child, but Sam said he never considered divorcing her. He began to have an affair with a woman named Susan Hayes, which Marilyn may have known about, but that is uncertain to know if she actually knew about it or not. I found this weird, and I don't know if it's just me, because, like, I have to, like, sleep in the same bed as Jeremy for me to sleep, but, like, they also slept in separate beds. After a while, before, like, everything happened with, like, their marriage going downhill, they would sleep in the same bed. But at some point, they got 2 twin beds. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I don't know. it just like, seems weird to me, but I don't know. Maybe it was just me.
It probably just wasn't, I don't know. If they weren't doing good, I can understand.
Yeah.
Wanting to not sleep in the same bed is kind of, or hating, kind of like if they're growing to like dislike each other or something.
Yeah,
that's what it seems like, at least. I don't know.
Yeah, and there was that, like, after, like, before what happens next. Apparently, this is not for sure, but there was talks of moving their twin beds back together, and like they were starting to get better, but you can't take the person's word for it. So in 1954, Marilyn became pregnant with their second child. So that's the end of the happiness, because it's gonna go downhill real quick right now. Of course, it happens. I should have did this one in the summer. I'm just not realizing.
That's okay.
Because this one happens, you'll see. So on the night of Saturday, July 3rd, 1954, this is why I said I should have done it in like July. Sheppard, Samuel, and Marilyn were entertaining neighbors at their lakefront home while they were watching the movie Strange Holiday, which I've never seen. Sam fell asleep on the daybed in the living room. Marilyn walked the neighbors outside. And then on July 4th, between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., it's gonna get gruesome. So if you want to skip. I understand. Marilyn Sheppard was bludgeoned to death in her bed with an unknown instrument. She was also 4 months pregnant at this time. She had been bludgeoned 25 to 27 times in the head and chest. The bedroom was covered with blood splatter, and drops of blood were found on the floors throughout the house. Pools of blood surrounded Marilyn's body, which lay on her bed. Her pajama top was rolled up around her neck, and her face was covered with cuts. A coroner determined that Marilyn had suffered 35 separate wounds, most on her face and head. Some items from the house, including Sam Sheppard's wristwatch, keychain, and key, and fraternity ring, appeared to have been stolen. They were later found in a canvas bag in the shrubbery behind the house. According to Sam, he was sleeping soundly on the daybed when he heard his wife crying and screaming. He ran upstairs, where he saw a white bipped form in the bedroom, where he was then knocked unconscious. When he awoke, he saw the person downstairs chase the intruder out of the house and down to the beach, where they tussled and Sam was knocked unconscious again. I don't buy your story. No. How can you, I understand you get unconscious, but the time frame does not make sense.
Yeah.
Because that was between 3 and 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
At 5:40 in the morning, a neighbor received an urgent phone call from Sheppard, who pleaded for him to come to his home, and he said, quote, "For God's sake, Sven, get over here quick. I think they've killed Marilyn," end quote.
Marilyn.
But why would you word that like that?
Yeah.
I also have a thing for, not a thing, but I do cases where it's always the husband.
Yeah.
Because the Greenbrier ghost was the husband.
Mm-hmm.
Buck Ruxton was the husband.
Yeah.
What's wrong with me? Please tell me. Why do I always do the same themes?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's what appeals to you, I guess.
I don't know. I also found this one by my book, which I actually have, and I have pictures of stuff.
Yeah.
In the book. I think that's probably why, because I was trying to find a case, and I was I don't this one doesn't seem interesting. This one doesn't seem interesting. And then this one, I was just seems kind of interesting because it's unsolved and there's theories, and I like when there's theories.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that because I don't know if it's the husband.
Yeah.
Because it's unsolved. Sam was found shirtless, and his pants were wet with a bloodstain on the knee. Authorities arrived shortly after. He seemed disoriented and in shock. The family dog was not heard barking to indicate an intruder, and their 7-year-old son, Sam Reese Chips Sheppard, was asleep in the bedroom. How do you say that? I don't know why I get accents. Sleep in the bedroom close to the incident. So also, they have a 7-year-old son at this time. So so sad.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna go in my research here.
Mm-hmm.
It jumps around a little bit. So I said all that stuff, but now we're gonna go into a timeline. So I'm gonna go by 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock, and then it's gonna go by days too, and then it's gonna go back into it's gonna be a little bit back and forth. So I'm sorry, but this is just how I felt was the easiest way to explain this. So bear with me. At 6:02 in the morning, Bay Village patrolman Fred Drankin arrives at the murder scene, the first law officer to see the body, blood spots throughout the house, and evidence of an apparent robbery. Sam reports to, I'm just going to call him Fred. Fred, he heard Marilyn scream, ran upstairs, fought on the stairs, and woke up in the lake. Between 6 o'clock and 7:30 in the morning, Sam's brothers, neighbor, police, and press members walked through the home and into the murder room. Chip, still sleeping, was taken from the... Okay, now he's taken from the... But I was just like, you let him sit there for, like, so many hours. You could have taken him from the house earlier than this. Like, I feel like if there was really an intruder in the house, you would see that your wife is hurt, not chase the guy because, like, your son is in the house. You would want to save your son first, wouldn't you think? Like, I don't know. It was just...
Weird.
All of it's weird. But, let's go. So... But Chip was taken from the house from Sam's brother, Richard. Sam was taken to Bayview Hospital after complaining of head and neck injuries as a result of a struggle with a bushy-haired intruder. That was his description. A bushy-haired intruder.
Bushy-haired intruder. Okay.
People later claimed that Marilyn and Sam were affectionate the night of her murder. So, like, people claimed that their relationship was getting better. At 8 a.m., I don't know how to say this, Cuyahoga County Coroner Samuel Gerber arrives at the murder scene. Between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m., Sam, under sedation at Bayview Hospital, is questioned by Gerber and several police officers. The home is sealed for investigation. According to Sam's account of the night, the first thing he remembered after falling asleep was being awakened by a cry from his wife. He ran upstairs to the bedroom, and in the dim light, he could see a white, bushy-haired person standing next to the bed where his wife had been sleeping. He claims he struggled with the person and was knocked unconscious after being struck on the back of his neck. Before losing consciousness, he reported having heard moans as if from an injured person. Once he regained consciousness, he checked on his wife, and after taking her pulse, determined that she was dead. He then proceeded to his son's room and found him unharmed. At this point, Sheppard ran downstairs after hearing a noise coming from the first floor where he saw the intruder running out of the door. He followed, and then the two struggled by the lake, where he was knocked unconscious again. When he came to, he was lying face down on the beach. He returned to the house where he checked his wife's pulse again and then called Mayor Hoke. So, now we're going to go by dates because it jumps around a little bit. So, on July 5th, 1954, the Sheppard murder dominates Cleveland newspapers. Sam is again interviewed by police and examined by a neurologist. On July 6th, 1954, papers report that Sheppard's family secured attorney William J. Corrigan for Sam, who recommends that Sam not talk to police. On July 7th, 1954, a funeral of Marilyn Sheppard. Chip does not attend because of the extensive press coverage. On July 8th, Sam issues statements saying he has fully cooperated with authorities. He offers a $10,000 award for the arrest and conviction of Marilyn's killer. On July 9th, Sam returns home with law enforcement to reenact the events of July 4th. He tells law enforcement he will not submit to a lie detector test at the time. Red flag.
Red flag, red flag, red flag.
Red flag. I know, like, a lie detector test or a polygraph test isn't really that accurate because, like, if you're any bit of anxious like I am, you probably would set that thing off like crazy. But at the same time, not being willing to take it.
Yeah. That is a red flag.
That's a red flag to me. On July 10th, What's wrong with me?
Samuel.
Sam voluntarily gives a formal statement at the county sheriff's office. He states he did not have an affair with Susan Hayes. Liar.
Okay.
On July 12th, Sam returns to work at Bayview Hospital but admits he is still a little fuzzy about things. He wears dark glasses during his rounds because the light hurts his eyes. July 21st, morning edition of Cleveland Press runs the first page editorial, "Why no inquest? Do it now, Dr. Gerber." Later that day, Coroner Gerber calls an inquest. On July 22nd, inquest is held at Normandy High School Gymnasium in order to accommodate large crowds, newspaper reporters, radio, and TV crews. Which is crazy. Why would you hold an inquest at a school?
Yeah.
Just to accommodate the newspaper reporters and stuff. Like... I guess it was the 1950s of it all.
Yeah.
During the 3-day event, Sam was questioned again and denied an affair with Susan Hayes, a lie that would later be used to impeach his credibility at trial. Coroner Gerber's verdict named Sam as the murderer. July 23rd, Cleveland police formally take over the police investigation. Finally. July 24th, Susan Hayes is questioned by police and in California admits to having an affair with Sam. Look at that, Sam.
Would you look at that?
You lied. July 30th, front page editorial and morning edition of Cleveland Press asks, why isn't Sam Sheppard in jail? At 10 p.m., Sam is arrested and charged with murder in the first degree. August 16th, Sam is released on $50,000 bail. Why? Grand jury meets to consider indictment. August 17th, grand jury returns first degree murder indictment and Sam is rearrested.
Oh my gosh.
This happens a lot. August through October, massive press coverage continues. At voir dire, every juror except one testifies to reading or hearing about the case in the news media. Sheppard's trial began October 18th, 1954 and lasted 9 weeks. The murder investigation and trial were notable for the extensive publicity. Some newspapers and other media in Ohio were accused of bias against Sam and I can't speak.
Talking is hard.
And huge coverage of the case. And were criticized for immediately labeling him the only viable suspect. A federal judge later criticized the media, quote, if there is ever a trial by newspaper, this is the perfect example. And the most insidious example was the Cleveland Press. For some reason, the newspaper took upon itself the role of accuser, judge, and jury, end quote. It appeared that local media influenced the investigators. On July 21st, 1954, the Cleveland Press ran a page editorial titled Do It Now, Dr. Gerber, which I talked about earlier, which called for a public inquest. Hours later, Dr. Samuel Gerber, the coroner investigating the murder, announced that he would hold an inquest the next day at the high school. like one would. The Cleveland Press ran another front page editorial titled Why Isn't Sam Sheppard in Jail, which I also talked about on July 30th, which was titled in later editions Quit Stalling and Bring Him In. That night, Sheppard was arrested for a police interrogation. So I guess then they're like, you're just doing it because the media wanted you to or whatever. Mm-hmm. But you should have did the proper stuff. Or whatever. The local media ran salacious front page stories accusing Sheppard, and that contained no supporting facts and were later disproved. During the trial, a popular radio station broadcasted a report about a New York City woman who claimed to be his big mistress and the mother of his illegitimate child. That is so hard to say. It's like an alliteration. Since the jury was not sequestered, 2 of the jurors admitted to the judge that they had heard the broadcast, but the judge did not dismiss them. From interviews with some of the jurors years later, it was likely that the jurors were contaminated by the press before the trial and perhaps during it. The U.S. Supreme Court later stated that the trial was surrounded by a carnival atmosphere, which is crazy. You're probably wondering who the heck Susan Hayes is. Susan Hayes, which is crazy because at this time, I guess it's not so crazy, but to me it's kind of crazy. At this time, Sam was 31.
Yeah. Just
keep in mind. Susan Hayes was a 24-year-old laboratory technician at Bayview Hospital in Bay Village who had an affair with Sam. The prosecution attempted to show that Hayes was the motive for murder, which, maybe. Sheppard's attorney, William Corrigan, argued that Sheppard had severe injuries and that these injuries were inflicted by the intruder. He based his argument on the report made by neurosurgeon Charles Elkins, who examined Sam, found he had suffered a cervical concussion, nerve injury, and many absent or weak reflexes, most notably on the left side of his body. An injury in the region of the second cervical vertebrae in the back of his neck. Elkins stated that it was impossible to fake or simulate the missing reflex responses. Which, okay, if he was actually hit, then yeah, that would make sense. But, I don't know. I'm still, torn. But we'll see. I want to see what you think after. The defense further argued the crime scene was extremely bloody, yet only blood evidence appearing on Sheppard was a bloodstain on his trousers. Corrigan also argued 2 of Marilyn's teeth had been broken and the pieces had been pulled from her mouth, suggesting that she had possibly bitten her assailant. He told the jury that Sheppard had no open wounds. Some who have observed and have questioned the accuracy of the claims that Marilyn Sheppard lost her teeth while biting her attacker, arguing that her missing teeth are more consistent with the severe beating she received to her face and skull. However, criminologist Paul L. Kirk later said that if the beating had broken Marilyn's teeth, pieces would have been found inside her mouth, and her lips would have been severely damaged. which was not the case. Sam took the stand in his own defense, testifying that he had been sleeping downstairs on the day bed downstairs when he awoke to his wife's screams. This is him talking. So, quote, "I think that she cried or screamed my name once or twice, during which time I ran upstairs, thinking that she might have been having a reaction similar to convulsions that she had earlier days of her pregnancy. I charged into our room and saw a form with a light garment. I believe at this time grappling with something or someone. During the short period, I could hear loud moans or groaning sounds and noises. I was struck down. It seems like I was hit from behind somehow and had grappled this individual from in front or generally in front of me. I was apparently knocked out. The next thing I knew, I was gathering my senses while coming to a sitting position next to the bed, my feet toward the hallway. I looked at my wife. I believe I took her pulse and I felt that she was gone. I believe I thereafter instinctively or subconsciously ran to my youngster's room next door and somehow determined that he was all right. I'm not sure how I determined this. After that, I thought I heard a noise downstairs, seemingly in the front eastern portion of the house." End quote. Youngster. That's what he said. My youngster's room.
Apparently that was like literally such a big word back then, because the case that I covered about the Chowchilla school bus kidnapping, remember the video that I showed you? It was like the youngsters. He kept saying the youngsters.
I say that sometimes. I say youngsters sometimes. But the defense called 18 character witnesses for Sam and 2 witnesses who said that they had seen a bushy-haired man near the Sheppard home on the day of the crime. On December 31st, after deliberating for 4 days, the jury found Sheppard guilty of second-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison. Now, we're going to go back into timeline. So, in early 1959, Ariane Tebben-Johans, Sam's future wife, writes her first letter to Sam through his brothers. So he gets married again. Just spoiler alert. Yeah. November 8th, 1959, Richard Eberling is arrested for larceny. Marilyn Sheppard's jewelry is found in his possession. Yeah. November 19th, 1959, Eberling is cleared of involvement in Marilyn's murder after a polygraph and police investigation. In 1961, Sam is transferred to Marion Correctional Institution and Ariane is permitted to write him directly. Sam cannot respond to her until 1962. In July of 1961, Sam's attorney and friend William J. Corrigan suffers a stroke and dies. Young Boston attorney F. Lee Bailey flees to Cleveland to visit Sam's brother Stephen and agrees to represent Sam. August of 1961, Chicago Tribune reporter Paul Holmes publishes the Sheppard murder case. It appears on the bestseller list for 14 weeks. May 20th, 1962, Myrtle Irene Frey, 64, sister of Eberling's employer, Ethel May Durkin, is beaten to death. The murder is unsolved. Now, trigger warning. Suicide. Skip 15 seconds or 30 seconds. On January 7th, 1955, shortly after his conviction, the incarceration of Sam was told that his mother, Ethel Sheppard, had died from a self-inflicted gunshot. 11 days later, Sheppard's father, Richard Sheppard, died of a bleeding gastric ulcer and stomach cancer. Sheppard was permitted to attend both funerals, but was required to wear handcuffs. On February 13th, 1963, while F. Lee Bailey was pursuing the appeals process, Sam's former brother-in-law... Okay, another trigger warning. Suicide, sorry. Sam S. Reese died by suicide in the East Cleveland, Ohio motel. Reese's wife had died in 1929 when their daughter Marilyn was in grade school, so that was Marilyn's parents. Mm-hmm. In 1959, Sheppard voluntarily took part in cancer studies by the Sloan Kettering Institute for Cancer Research, allowing live cancer cells to be injected into his body. Crazy. Sheppard's attorney, William Corrigan, spent 6 years making appeals, but were all rejected. On July 30th, 1961, Corrigan died and F. Lee Bailey took over his counsel. September of 1963, TV program The Fugitive about a doctor wrongly accused of murdering his wife airs. February 1964, Gerber writes a letter to Ohio Attorney General William Saxby, requesting that Governor James A. Rhodes pardon Sam. Bailey's petition for a writ of habeas corpus was granted on July 15, 1964 by a U.S. District Court judge who called the 1954 trial a mockery of justice that shredded Sheppard's 14th Amendment right to due process. The state of Ohio was ordered to release Sheppard on bond and gave him a prosecutor 60 days to bring charges against him. Otherwise, the case would be dismissed permanently. So he's out of prison at this point. And on July 18th, 1964, Sam marries Ariane. Sheppard served 10 years of his sentence. 3 days after his 1964 release, he married her, who was a German divorcee who had corresponded with him during his imprisonment, which is so weird. I don't know why this happens a lot, where people will write to people in prison and then marry them. It's weird.
What happened with Gypsy Rose's boyfriend?
I know, but then they
got a divorce.
They're getting a divorce, yeah. It's just crazy. The two had been engaged since January of 1963. Ariane endured her own bout of controversy shortly after the engagement had been announced, confirming that her half-sister was Magna Ritschl, who was a wife of Nazi propaganda chief Joseph Goebbels. Ariane emphasized that she held no Nazi views, so that's also crazy. The state of Ohio appealed the ruling to the U.S. Court of Appeals Court for the Sixth Circuit, which was March 4th, 1965, which reversed the federal judge's ruling. Bailey appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, which agreed to hear the case in Sheppard v. Maxwell. On June 6, 1966, the Supreme Court, by 8-1 vote, struck down the murder conviction. The decision noted, among other factors, that a carnival atmosphere had permeated the trial, and the trial judge, Edward J. Blythen, who had died in 1958, was biased against Sam because Blythen had refused to sequester the jury, did not order the jury to ignore or disregard media reports of the case. And when speaking to newspaper columnist Dorothy Killigan shortly before the trial, said he was guilty. This is a quote, the judge said, "Well, he's guilty as hell, there's no question about it," end quote. I mean, I don't know. You can't just say that without having actual evidence. It's kind of just circumstantial. So this part's also crazy. In 1966, Sam releases his book titled Endure and Conquer. Yeah. Jury selection began October 24th, 1966 for the second trial, and opening statements began 8 days later. Media interest in the trial remained high, and this jury was sequestered. The prosecutor presented essentially the same case as presented 12 years earlier. Bailey aggressively sought to discredit each prosecution witness during cross-examination. When Coroner Samuel Gerber testified that a murder weapon that he had described as a surgical weapon, Bailey led Gerber to admit that they never found a murder weapon and that had nothing to tie Sheppard to the murder. In his closing argument, Bailey scathingly dismissed the prosecution's case against Sheppard as 10 pounds of hogwash in a 5-pound bag. That was a quote. 10 pounds of hogwash in a 5-pound bag.
Oh.
I don't even know what that means.
Me either.
But okay.
Okay.
Unlike the original trial, neither Sam nor Susan Hayes took the stand, a strategy that proved to be successful. After deliberating for 12 hours, the jury returned on November 16th with a not guilty verdict. The trial was important to Bailey's rise to prominence among American criminal defense lawyers. It was during this trial that Paul Kirk presented the blood splatter evidence he collected in the Sheppard's home in 1955 that suggested that the murderer was left-handed. Sheppard was right-handed, which proved crucial to his acquittal. 3 weeks after the trial, Sheppard appeared on a guest on December 7th episode of Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. So it's crazy too, because kind of like Gypsy Rose, he became famous after.
Yeah.
After his acquittal, Sam worked with ghostwriter Bill Levy to write the book Endure and Conquer, which presented his side of the case and discussed his years in prison. Levy felt conflicted about collaborating with Sheppard because of his belief that Sheppard had committed the crime. So even this person who's helping him write this book was like, yeah, you did it, but I'm going to help you anyway. Even crazier. In 1967, Sam regains his medical license but is sued in the death of a patient and quits his practice.
Oh.
Yeah. December 1968, Ariane and Sam divorced. Ariane filed for divorce, saying that under the influence of alcohol and drugs, Sam had stolen her money, threatened her, and thrown empty bottles at her. So, this jumps around. I'm going to start with this. So, in 1969, Sam became a professional wrestler working under the stage name Killer. He marries Colleen Strickland, the 20-year-old daughter of his wrestling manager. At this time, he's like 40, 45, I think, like close to 50. Gross. Oh, I skipped this part. After his release from prison, Sheppard opened a medical office in the Columbus suburb of Ghana, Ohio. On May 10th, 1968, Sheppard was granted surgical privileges at the Youngstown Osteopathic Hospital, but quote, his skills as a surgeon had deteriorated, and much of the time he was impaired by alcohol, end quote. 5 days after he was granted privileges, he performed a dissectomy on a woman and accidentally cut an artery. The patient died the next day. On August 6th, he nicked a right iliac artery of a 29-year-old patient who bled to death internally. Sam resigned from the hospital staff a few months later after wrongful death suits had been filed by the patients' families. So, he killed 2 people after this.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no. And then Sheppard's friend and soon-to-be father-in-law, professional wrestler George Strickland, introduced him wrestling and trained him for it. He debuted in August 1969 at the age of 45 as killer Sam Sheppard wrestling Wild Bill Skull. So he was 45 and he married this 20-year-old.
Oh.
Yeah. Sheppard wrestled over 40 matches before his death in April of 1970, including a number of tag team bouts with Strickland as his partner. His notoriety made him a strong draw. During his wrestling career, Sheppard used his anatomical knowledge to develop a new submission hold that he called the mandibular nerve pinch. The maneuver would go on to be renamed the mandible claw and utilized and popularized by professional wrestlers Wrestler Mankind in 1996. 6 months before his death, Sam married Colleen Strickland. Toward the end of his life, Sheppard was reportedly drinking, quote, as much as 2/5 of liquor a day, end quote, which was 1.5 liters. That's a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
On April 6, 1970, Samuel Holmes Sheppard was found dead in his home and Colleen's home. The cause of death was ruled as liver failure. He had known to drink as much as 2/5 of liquor a day. Earlier reports indicated that Sam died of liver failure. The official cause of death was Wernicke encephalopathy, a type of brain damage associated with advanced alcoholism. He was buried in Forest Lawn Memorial Gardens in Columbus, Ohio. Sheppard's body remained buried until September of 1997 when he was exhumed for DNA testing as part of the lawsuit brought by his son, Chip, to clear his father's name, because Chip believes his father didn't do it. His attorney stated that the DNA testing absolved Sheppard of the murder. After the test, the body was cremated and the ashes were interred in a mausoleum at Knollwood Cemetery in Mayfield Heights, Ohio, along with those of his murdered wife, Marilyn. Sam's son, Samuel Reese Sheppard, has devoted considerable time and effort towards attempting to clear his father's reputation. April 30th, 1993, Sam Reese Sheppard and author Cynthia Cooper agreed to publish a book about Marilyn's murder and Sam's trial. The book, claiming Sam's innocence and casting suspicion on Eberling, is released September 1995 as Mockery of Justice. October 19, 1995, the Sheppard's estate files a petition for a declare of innocence as wrongful imprisoned debt individual under the original Court of Common Pleas criminal case number 64571. The case is closed in August of 1996 because the defendant, Sam Sheppard, is deceased. September 17th, 1997, Sam Sheppard's body is exhumed for DNA testing. March 4th, 1998, Terry Gilbert, lawyer for Sheppard's family, announced that DNA tests by Dr. Mohammed Tahir of the Indianapolis Marion County Forensic Services Agency shows that blood found in the murder scene could not be Sam Sheppard's. Tahir further states that Eberling's blood was consistent with the blood type found at the murder scene. July 25th, 1998, Eberling dies in prison. December 1998, the Ohio Supreme Court clears the way for trial, ruling against a request of the county prosecutor to stop the suit by Sam Reese Sheppard against the state of Ohio for wrongly imprisoning his father. In 1999, Alan Davis, a lifelong friend of Sheppard and administrator of his estate, sued the state of Ohio and the County Court of Common Pleas for Sheppard's wrongful imprisonment. The case was heard by Judge Ron Suster. By order of the court, Marilyn Sheppard's body was exhumed, in part to determine if the fetus she was carrying had been fathered by Sheppard. Terry Gilbert, an attorney, remained attained that the Sheppard family told the media that the fetus was, in this case, had been previously autopsied, a fact that had never previously been disclosed. This, Gilbert argued, raised questions about the coroner office in the original case, possibly concealing evidence. Due to the passage of time on the baby's tissues, paternity could not be established. So, we're going to go into Richard Eberling, and then we'll be done. It's just a little bit longer. But I don't know. I guess we'll go through this and I'll say what I think. Because I thought at first that it was Sam.
Yeah.
But I think it might be Richard. Because, like, if his son's so adamant about it, like...
I don't know.
Well, we're going to get into Richard real quick. So, during the civil trial, plaintiff attorney Terry Gilbert contended that Richard Eberling, an occasional handyman and window washer at the Sheppard home, was the likeliest suspect in Marilyn's murder. Eberling was found Marilyn attractive, and he was very familiar with the layout of the Sheppard home. So, like, he was working there. Why didn't you guys, like, question him before this? Like, why didn't you question him? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
In 1959, detectives were questioning Richard. Okay. But still, like, you should have known if you're detectives. In 1959, detectives were questioning Richard Eberling about the various burglaries in the area. Eberling confessed to the burglaries and showed detectives his loot, which included 2 rings that belonged to Marilyn Sheppard. Eberling stole the rings in 1958, a few years after the murder from Sam Sheppard's brother's house, taken from a box marked personal property of Marilyn Sheppard. In questioning, Eberling admitted to his blood was at the crime scene of Marilyn Sheppard. He said that he cut his finger while washing the windows just prior to the murder and blood on the premises. Okay. Excuse.
Exactly.
You should find that suspicious. Because why would he just automatically say that? You know, like, he could have... Like, he knew his blood was there. So he just said, oh, I cut myself. And you just was like, okay, it's the 1950s, it's fine. What is wrong with you? As part of the investigation, Eberling took a polygraph test with questions about the murder of Marilyn. The polygraph examiner concluded that Eberling did not show deception in his answers. Although the polygraph results were evaluated by experts years later who found that it was either inconclusive or Eberling was deceptive. In his testimony in the 2000 civil lawsuit, Bailey stated that he rejected Eberling as a suspect in 1966 because, quote, I thought he passed a good polygraph test, end quote.
Oh, okay.
When it was presented to Bailey that an independent polygraph expert said Eberling either murdered Marilyn or had knowledge of who did, Bailey stated that he probably would have presented Eberling as a suspect in the 1966 retrial. DNA evidence, which was not available in the two murder trials... Murder trials. I'm trying to talk faster than I can right now. Played by an important role in the civil trial. DNA analysis of the blood at the crime scene showed that there was presence of blood from a third person other than Marilyn and Sam Sheppard. Okay, then why didn't you present this?
Exactly.
What? With regard to tying the blood to Eberling, the DNA analysis was allowed to be admitted to the trial was inconclusive. A plaintiff DNA expert was 90% confident that one of the blood spots belonged to Richard Eberling, but according to the rules of the court, was not admissible. Why? The defense argued that the blood evidence had been tainted in the years since it was collected, and that an important blood spot on the closet door in Marilyn Sheppard's room potentially included 83% of the adult white population. The defense also pointed that the results in 1955 from the older blood typing technique that the blood collected from the closet door was type L, while Eberling's blood was type A. Throughout his life, Richard Eberling was associated with women who had suspicious deaths and was convicted of murdering Ethel May Durkin, a wealthy elderly widow who died without any immediate family. Durkin's 1984 murder in Lakewood, Ohio was uncovered when a court-appointed review of the woman's estate revealed that Eberling, Durkin's guardian executor, had failed to execute her final wishes, which included stipulations on her burial. Durkin's body was exhumed and additional injuries were discovered in the autopsy that did not match Eberling's previous claims of in-house accidents, including a fall down the staircase in her home. In legal action, both Eberling and his partner, O.B. Henderson, were found guilty in Durkin's death. Coincidentally, both of Durkin's sisters, Myrtle Frey and Sarah Bell Farrow, had died under suspicious circumstances too. Frey was killed after being savagely beaten with about the face and head, then strangled. Farah died by falling down a basement steps in the home she shared with Durkin in 1970. A fall which she broke both of her legs and both arms.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But the fact that, like, Frey was killed by being beaten, that's similar to Marilyn.
Yeah, it is. That's crazy.
Although Eberling denied any criminal involvement in the murder of Marilyn Sheppard, Kathy Wagner Dial, who worked alongside Eberling in caring for Ethel May Durkin, also testified that Eberling had confessed to her in 1983. A fellow convict also reported that Eberling confessed to the crime. The defense called into question the credibility of both witnesses during the 2000 civil trial. Eberling died in the Ohio prison in 1998, where he was serving life sentence for the 1984 murder of Ethel May Durkin. After 10 weeks of trial, 76 witnesses, and hundreds of exhibits, the case went to the 8-person civil jury. The jury deliberated just 3 hours on April 12, 2000, before returning an unanimous verdict that Samuel Reese Sheppard had failed to prove by a preponderance of the evidence that his father had been wrongfully imprisoned. January 31st, 2000, Davis v. State of Ohio civil trial begins. February 7th, 2000, jury selection begins. February 18th, 22nd, 2000, Terry Gilbert reports that the state never made a good faith effort to settle the lawsuit. County prosecutor Bill Mason informs the media about an outrageous settlement agreement proposed by Terry Gilbert, which requested $3.2 million in return for the Sheppard family dropping the lawsuit. April 12, 2000, jury finds in favor of the state versus Ohio after an 8-week of trial. February 21st, 2002, the Sheppard estate appeals to the 8th District Court of Appeals, who finds the civil lawsuit should have never been proceeded to the trial because such a claim abated upon the death of Sam Sheppard. Invalidation of wrongful imprisonment claim on February 22nd, 2002, the 8th District Court of Appeals ruled unanimously that the civil case should have not gone to the grand jury on the grounds that the statute of limitations had expired, and that the claim for wrongful imprisonment abated by Sam Sheppard's death. In August of 2002, the Supreme Court of Ohio declined the review to appeals court's decision. So there's another additional suspect. A 2002 book theorizes that Marilyn Sheppard was murdered by James Call, an Air Force deserter who passed through Cleveland on a multi-state crime spree in the relevant time. Which pages 444 and 451 show multiple comparative photographs of Major Call Luger's pistol with a bloodstained pillowcase of Marilyn Sheppard. During the original trial, the bloodstains patterns were suspected of having been made by a surgical instrument, which F. Lee Bailey disproved during the 1966 retrial. Some records from the case. In 2012, William Mason, the county prosecutor, designated the Cleveland Marshall College of Law Library at Cleveland State University of the repository for records and other materials relating to the Sheppard's case. The law school had digitized the material consisting of over 60 boxes of photographs, recordings, and trial exhibits, and posted portions of it online through the school's institutional repository. So I think Richard did it because he killed so many people.
That's what it seems like to me, too.
So I wanted to believe there for a while that I thought it was Sam.
I did. I was like, it's definitely Sam. I'm like, how can it be someone else? How is this unsolved? It has to be Sam. And I was like, maybe not.
Yeah, because whenever he killed Frey and Durkin and stuff, like, well, those Frey and so it's not proven that he killed Frey and Sarah, Myrtle and Sarah. Mm-hmm. But I think he did, because why would he kill Mrs. Durkin and then her sisters died suspiciously? Mm-hmm. So it's like, you did it. Like, you bludgeoned one lady, you did Marilyn too. Like, you had to have. Mm-hmm. So, like, I wanted you to believe it was Sam, but I never really believed it was Sam this whole time.
It was definitely Richard.
Did I do a good job?
You did a great job. High five.
Making you believe that it was.
You did.
So, this is the book. And this is the same book I got the Lake Bodom murders from.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to show you this page, but I'm going to cover, because it does show the crime scene. Uh-huh. So, don't look where my hand is, but that was Marilyn. Mm-hmm. Marilyn, and then Sam. That was their house. And then this was the parents down here. And then Sam in a neck brace is Marilyn's body. So that's why I'm covering it. Because I don't want you to see it. Because I didn't want to see it, but I saw it. And I was like, too late.
Yeah, she was so pretty.
She was really pretty. But I just thought that was interesting because, like, I thought, like, whenever I was doing this case, at first I thought it was Sam, and then I was like, wait. Whenever I got to Richard, I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
And whenever they said James Call, I'm like, it's not him. No, it's not him because, like, it can't be. He didn't use a gun. Like, she wasn't killed by a gun. So, like, it wasn't that. But I lied to you guys. I said it wasn't going to be an hour, and here we are an hour later. Sorry. Okay. I always think that my cases won't be that long, and then they end up being super long.
I know, mine's are always either mine are always either shorter or longer than I expect. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Most of the time they're shorter. I'm like, oh crap.
Well, I go by page numbers.
Yeah.
So, like, I've been starting to do my research on my phone because I can't do it with, I can't write it out anymore. It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts really bad. Like, I probably will, like, eventually start doing it again. But, like, right now, like, I have, like, wrist issues. And, like, my wrist will crack whenever I, like, because it hurts so bad because I write a lot. But whenever I write my research, I normally go by between 15 to 20 pages. And then on this one was 44 pages. So, yeah. So I knew it was going to be a little bit longer, but I wasn't exactly sure because I just started doing research on my phone. Just because, like, my hand, easier. It's a little bit easier, but yeah. So that was the case, the murder of Marilyn Sheppard.
Yes.
And I feel bad for their son. I feel bad for Marilyn, and I feel bad for Sam because they all thought it was him whenever I don't think it was. But let us know your thoughts, what you thought, who did it, or it's Richard. But if you have any other thoughts of who did it or any other theories that, like, I could look at, please let me know because I really want to, like, know. Because I just wish I could just know. Like, I wish I could just go back to that day. Like, stop the person from doing it. And then 2, see who was trying to do it.
Yes.
But I can't because I don't have magical powers.
Go back and solve it ourselves.
Yeah. But if you want to see pictures of Marilyn and how beautiful she was, you can go to our social medias at Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Dreadfully Twisted Podcast. If you have any theories on this case or any other cases you would like us to cover, or if you have any stories that you want to share, whether it's true crime or paranormal experiences that you have experienced or any family member in your life has experienced and are willing to share, please email us at dreadfullytwistedpodcast@gmail.com or go to our Reddit page or /dreadfullytwistedpod. If you want to share the podcast with friends and family, please do so.
Yes.
We encourage it. Please.
Send us ideas of things to cover. And ideas for our 50th episode.
Yeah, our 50th episode is literally 1 episode away.
I know.
After this episode, the next episode's 49, and then it's our 50th.
We should post a TikTok asking for ideas.
Yeah, we were going to do that.
Yeah. Or like an real.
I don't look good right now.
No, it's okay. Oh crap. Me either. You're supposed to take a picture.
Well, it was going to be a video.
Yeah, a video.
I forgot about that.
Same.
Well, are you still going to the Halloween party tomorrow?
Yeah.
If I am able to come, like, I'll still text you. Like, I'm probably going to cut this out. I might leave, but I don't feel like it. But I'll probably text you once we're done with that flashlight corn maze thing.
Yeah.
And then I'll let you know, like, what time I'm coming home from that. I'm planning to be home by, like, 9. I don't know if you'll still be there. And then we'll be, like, dressed up and stuff. So maybe we could do that because we'll be in spooky stuff.
Yeah.
We'll be dressed up. Yeah, we'll do that. So I'll let you know if I can come.
Okay.
I want to. So I'm going to do everything I possibly can to show up. And I promise you, I will be there. As long as you're still there, I'll be there.
All right.
Because I'm planning to be home by 9:00. So if you're still there, then we'll be good.
Okay.
Because I feel bad we don't get to have our speaking, like,
we'll probably
speaking notes. So we'll be able to hang out tomorrow if we can. But anyway, you're us bobbering. So if you will, please share the podcast with friends and family. If
5 stars.
Yes, 5 stars, please. You can listen anywhere you listen to podcasts. Please download, 5-star, answer polls, questions, rate us. all that. It really helps the podcast out. And if you can go to our social medias, like, comment, follow, just help us, because it helps us stay relevant in the charts and helps the podcast grow, and other people see that, oh, this podcast is getting stuff liked and stuff. So like, help us out. It'll help us. Please, 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 please. I'm begging you. And please send us your stories. And yeah, we will see you guys next week.
Yes, we will.
And let us know what you would like us to do for our 50th. If you want us to be spooky. Ooh. Okay. We're leaving now.
Love you.
We love you. Bye. We're a little crazy. Bear with us.
Bye.